Good evening, everybody. Glad you've made the decision to be with us. Alongside Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore, and we're glad to be bringing you action and welcoming you to Vegas, where they do it bigger and better than any other city when it comes to the big-time fights. We're at the Thomas & Mack Center for tonight's main event. 12 rounds of heavyweight action. We are looking forward to this fight, especially after seeing what happened at the weigh-in yesterday. A stare down that nearly resulted in a bout breaking out right there. Now they get to do it for real. Raymond Bishop's on his way to the ring, and you can just tell what kind of night he intends this to be. He's just brimming with confidence.
All right, fellas, let's have a good, clean fight. Touch him up and let's go.
Opening 3 minutes of this scheduled 12-rounder. Good block by George. A crushing two-punch combo by George Foreman. Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Raymond Bishop. If you're the well-rounded fighter in a matchup like this against the real heavy hitter, I'm assuming the last thing you want to do, even though throughout your career you have punched well and you do have knockouts on your record, is to engage him in the only kind of fight he can win.
Yeah, don't go down to his level is what the old-timers would say. You know that you can win so many ways. Why go into a place that is the only place he has a chance?
You need to keep that head
halfway through this round. Good defensive skill with the block by George Foreman. Body shot, the left hand. That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by George Foreman. And you see what he can do when he sends that right to the head. Teddy, I don't think he's got vision of sticking around too long. He's landing power punches early.
Yeah, he wants to make it a quick night's work.
Super two-punch combo by George Foreman. And now he's acting like a fighter. Coming back with the right hand after getting scored upon. Phenomenal pace being set here. They are burning it up early on.
Let's find out who's in better shape. We're going to see.
He just missed that shot up top. Well-placed hook. Raymond Bishop's jab can do so much there. He used it well that time. We come to the end of this round. Teddy, a round in which maybe a lot of trainers don't like to see because it was a very busy round for both guys.
Well, it depends what kind of style, what kind of strength your fighter has, or even what kind of weaknesses. If I had a guy who likes to box, who likes to counterpunch, I want a guy coming at him. Not with a lot of TNT in his gloves, but coming forward where my guy is well-suited. He can pick him off a little bit.
Holy shit, you are in control of this fight, man.
Here we go. Round two is underway. hook. More than one punch downstairs. That can be damaging. You see him zeroing in with that left hand to the body. What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by George Foreman. Pulls the trigger right away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. Dismisses his opponent's headshot. Foreman's got a cut. It looks like it's below the eye on the cheek, but it's something that needs to be monitored. Halfway through this round here, well-targeted two-punch combo by George Foreman. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out from here. George Foreman's cut is now changing the course of this fight.
Well, the fighter's been trying to do his job. Now the cornerman is the most important person right now in that ring. He has to do his job and stop that bleeding.
Biggs rocked by a huge hook to the head. Scores well to the head with the right hand. Not hitting his mark there going upstairs. That was a fine block by Raymond Bishop.
Come on!
Good combination by George Foreman. Right to the head with that right. What an impact that left hand just made by George Foreman. A big hook to the head by George Foreman. As if the right hand wasn't enough. How about that accurate left hook he just landed to the midsection? And that does it for this round. Biggs Cutman is going to earn his pay for sure. That is a bad gash.
And I'm wondering what he's using in there. You know, you can only use certain things, Avatine, adrenaline, and thrombin. I'm wondering if he's using legal things right now, because that's the kind of cut that tempts you to use crazy glue.
And round number 3 is underway. As basic as can be, but it works. A jab followed by the straight. Scored well upstairs with the right hand.
Watch the hook.
He got all into that one. That was a solid uppercut. And a punishing hook by Raymond Bishop. George Foreman's defense did a good job there, able to avoid that punch. Digs in with a good solid uppercut after taking a shot. Protecting his head well with his guard. He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores. Raymond Bishop's applying an old axiom in sports, and that is speed kills. He's got plenty of it in the ring tonight.
Yes, he does. It's going to be up to his opponent now to find a way to take away that speed. Find something that can offset that speed. And I think that starts with controlling range. Get out of the range where he can control you, where he can use that speed.
Did you see that? Oh boy, that right hand got right to him and put him down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The knockdown scored against Raymond Bishop. How will Big Baby Bishop react? Raymond Bishop's got to deal with a cut on his cheek right now. The good news is it's below the eye, but still it could get nasty as the fight progresses. That's a well-scored left hand by Raymond Bishop. Great counterpunch, and I love how he moved off to the side and then landed it. Good clean shot, returning fire. Well done by Raymond Bishop. Raymond Bishop stunned, and he cannot block this onslaught. Takes one to give one. He comes back with a right hand. What a big shot from George Foreman. So punch after punch, he keeps taking punishment. Starting to wonder here, Teddy, how much more will he be able to take?
You want it to be the inclination of a fighter, in this case a warrior, to go on. But sometimes enough is enough, and you just have to take your losses and come back to fight another day. I believe we've gotten to that point.
Breathe. Good. Deep breath. Deep breath. Get some water in you. You're good. You all right? You okay, right? Breathe for me. Now listen. He threw a wide punch and he caught you. Then tighten up your punches, all right?
He's given up 2 rounds on Teddy's scorecard as we begin round number 4, but I think he's got a pretty bright future in this fight here, knowing that he's gotten to his hands.
Yeah, he knows it, and maybe more importantly, his opponent knows that he's been hurt. And I can see it already. It's making him a little bit more tentative, so it's making his job a little easier.
Raymond Bishop's got it. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's a great effort against Foreman right there. I mean, to take down Big George like that is something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get up!
Hard to prepare for a situation like this, but many do. He's been down, now he's got to survive.
No, that's where you're wrong. It's not hard to prepare. It's a must to prepare. If you're a trainer, that's what you do in the gym. You teach a guy, if you're in this situation, this is what you do. You grab on, you move your head, you survive.
Raymond Bishop's defense has failed him now. Oh, man. Great round now. Back and forth after he did the hurting. There it is. Oh, and now the real test. Can he get up after going down a second time?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Raymond Bishop's getting back up to his feet after being knocked down. Very nice work to the head. The right hand landed. A crushing blow up top.
I don't know if he has enough time to recover.
And now targeting his opponent with the overhand right. Foreman's trying to keep the good times going here. Scored a knockdown earlier, and now scoring with 4 punches.
Yeah, what he's got to do is what you just said, punches, plural. He makes sure that he doesn't start looking for that one punch at a time because he's hurt him. Keep putting them together.
He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by George Foreman. A sound combination by Raymond Bishop. He took a shot, but he came back with a right hand of his own. And round 4 comes to an end. His eye is completely shut. He really is at risk of being a TKO loser here. I suppose if he can defend himself properly, the fight will go on.
Yeah, well, that's going to be up to the discretion, the judgment of the referee. I mean, this is what the referee is paid for. His judgment in this kind of situation.
You're looking good. Keep those hands moving.
Got any more of these? More gloves? Yeah.
Raymond Bishop's corner tried to steady him and give him some sound advice with the 60 seconds they had to work with him. But keep in mind, he was knocked down in that last round.
Well, the most important thing is his experience. Has this happened to him before? Can he justify in his mind that he's overcome it before? Also his corner, did they revive him?
Wow! George Foreman. Can he move on?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So he is able to get up to his feet after that knockdown. But Teddy, it's what's ahead that's the problem.
Yeah, we're getting a peek right now into his heart, into his soul.
A snapping hook by George Foreman. Foreman's left landing well. Do you see any way in which he can take his opponent's aggression and turn it against him?
Yeah, the perfect way. I mean, boxing 101, counterpunching. You got a guy coming at you, no better way than to change his mind. Make him miss, make him pay.
Nice strike after catching one by George Foreman. Right hand downstairs.
Come on, get both.
Excellent hook to the head by George Foreman.
1-2, 1-2.
He has his target. He lands the straight right.
Hey, keep your hands up.
And oh, what a good strong uppercut by Raymond Bishop. George Foreman is always dangerous, but right now George Foreman is in survival mode after getting rocked. I think Big George just needs to tie up. And that's the end of round 5. You can have the best game plan in the world, but when your eye shuts closed like that, everything changes.
But one thing doesn't change, Joe, and that's the mentality of a warrior. You find a way. You do not give in. You find a way. You concentrate harder, and you see with that one eye what you need to see.
What you're doing, you got this. Just
Foreman's corner must really believe in their guy, Teddy, because they're sending him out for yet another round. He was just knocked down again.
Well, they're either doing something that's going to make for great talk later on, great history, or something that's very dangerous.
Cover up, cover up.
Oh, and there you go. That was a big shot that floored him, and it's a big shot that may end him right here.
That looked like the great pitcher, Great Maddox, his sinker ball. Boy, it went down quick.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So he goes down again, and give him credit for rising up and beating the count. But Teddy, this referee's got to have an eye on stopping this fight.
Well, if he's a real ref, if he's doing his job, he definitely has to.
Gets rid of that. It was intended for his head. How about big shot he just scored with? What a turn of events. What a turnaround. He scores his own knockdown after being knocked down earlier.
And that's where scoring a knockdown hurts you sometimes, because now you think you're just going to walk in and get it again. Well, he walked in, he did get it. He got it.
A well-placed left hand up top. Hits him in the mug with the right. Scores up top with a left. George Foreman's failure to protect himself from that left hand, it's become a big story now.
Yeah, and he has to understand why. He's not controlling distance. He's standing too close in front. Needs to adjust a little further out.
George Foreman with a big punch. Punches and bunches, combination up top. And the round comes to an end. Look at their eyes. Look at their faces. Drenched in blood, swollen around their eyes. This is a fight.
It's about who's more determined here, but it's also about who has the greater instincts, because to a certain extent, you're groping in the dark. You're in uncharted waters. You've never been in this kind of condition before. Who instinctively reacts the best?
There you go. That's the best.
Halfway through this fight as this round gets underway here. Been interesting so far. Who knows what we're in store for down the stretch. Able to block that away. It was targeted for his head. How about that exchange?
Do what you're doing.
Goes up top with a right hand. Good defense just covering up down low. George Foreman's covered with his blood right now. That cut just opened up something fierce.
And you know, you wonder about the psychological damage or potential damage of that. You know, does that affect him where he gets a little down? Does that affect his opponent where maybe his opponent gets a little reckless?
One of the fastest punches in the game. You see how he just turns over that hook? Commits to the straight right. Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Raymond Bishop's showing us that he is willing to stick with the game plan. But Teddy, that game plan saw him knocked down earlier in this fight. What would you be telling him?
You know, in some ways I tell him good, because you have to go with what you have. You know, you can't completely change. That's not possible in the course of the fight. You are who you are. So it's not the game plan necessarily, Joe, or the style that's wrong. It's the execution of the game plan. That has to be done.
A sting. Solid. Wow, he goes down again.
This is going to be called the elevator fight. Up and down all night.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's over. The fight is over. Foreman's hand to be raised in victory. He scores the knockout here tonight. I like the way he finished things tonight, Teddy. George Foreman's your winner by knockout in a fight that he controlled throughout.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, and just as importantly, or more importantly, his trainer, his manager, and his promoter like it, because that means that he's going to be easy to sell now to television.
Alongside Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time ringside.